Hello, this is Susan Ashley, and welcome once again to my YouTube channel, Susan Kassandra. I'm going to continue with our universal laws, and today's universal law is the law of rhythm. So please like, share, and comment as we go along if you feel to. Great. So obviously, the law of rhythm is about the cycles in life. Everything has a time, everything has a place. And nature, Mother Nature, I love Mother Nature, don't you? It shows us the law of rhythm quite nicely. How things are born, they have a season, then they return to the earth. It's like our own bodies. We have the rhythm too. We have days that we feel really good and days that we don't, days or months even that we more relate to. Everything has a rhythm to it. We cannot expect people to be the same every day, day in, day out, the same productivity like soldiers. It's been a long time since I worked for someone else, but when I was younger, I had a lot of part-time jobs. And now we're going back, I worked even when I was at school, so we're going back to the 70s and the 80s. And at that time, they would employ you because they liked you. And they went off their gut, they went off their inner knowing, and it was important to them that you were a good fit for the rest of the staff, right? So you were in perfect rhythm with each other. Now they look at your CV. If you answer all the questions right about the job that you're doing, they employ you. But sometimes you're a terrible fit for the rest of the group. So they're not employing you from their heart, from their gut, from their intuition. They're employing you from statistics, from an analysis, from here, right? And a lot of the time it doesn't work out well. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it works out really well, but sometimes it really doesn't, because they're not looking at, and also they're not looking at you as a being who has a natural rhythm. So when I was younger and I was working for one place, I was, very young, and I broke up with my boyfriend. I was really upset because, when you're sort of like 18, 19 and you break up with someone, it's the end of the world. Your whole life has crashed. So I remember my boss pulling me into the office and saying to me, "Oh, you're not your usual chirpy self today, Susan. What's going on?" And I cried. "Oh, my boyfriend broke up with me." And, he was really sweet, and he said, "Look, what do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, I'd really like to go visit my sister, but she's living in another state, and, I don't have any time off because I was working part-time, so you don't get days off. Right, if you don't work, you don't get paid and stuff." And I was studying and working. And he said, "Oh, look, don't worry about that. The company will pay for that. And you just take a good week off." Now, he paid for that. And he still paid me my part-time wage so that I could, see my sister and get over this broken relationship that broke my heart so much. I'm pretty sure he gave me a week. And in fact, I think it was the first plane I ever went on. So, that's the law of rhythm in perfect harmony, because he understood that I wasn't going to be productive. I wasn't going to be in my normal cycle if I was feeling in pain. And even when you look at the rhythm of your own life and your own body as a woman, we have our menstrual cycle that we have every month, and we're told, ignore it, take a tablet, just ignore it. Oh, you know what? You can take a tablet and never get a period. You don't have to menstruate again, just take a tablet, just ignore the whole thing. So this law of rhythm is really important because it's an acceptance of life and who we are intrinsically as a loving human being. We have days when members of our family, even now, if one of your parents dies and you work for a company, you're lucky to get a day off work to go to the funeral. because you're not being productive or you won't get paid. We really need the law of rhythm to come back into complete understanding for everyone. Now, that doesn't mean that someone can come into work miserable every day and be completely unproductive for months. Maybe they're just not the right fit for that company or that business. But what I mean is, let's have an understanding of those rhythms of life. And it's the same, like when women have a child and they've been working for a company for years, and then they're told, oh, well, okay, you're going to go on maternity leave. It can only be 3 months, which nearly kills the woman to go back to work. And then you may not go back to the same job because you're less productive, because you might have to take a day off to look after a sick child. Where's the humanity in that? We've forgotten the law of rhythm. And the law of rhythm has to do with our folklore. The harvest, the spring, the summer, the winter. I always used to love winter because in Australia, winter is generally, well, it used to be about 2 months. I know it's 3 months, but usually it was about 2 months where you would withdraw. You would spend those 2 months inside because it was raining, cold, you didn't want to be outside and active. Okay, in Europe, you get used to the cold, so you're outside active even in winter. But in summer, you have a different rhythm, don't you? You're all out in the sun, you take time off work, you go and get some vitamin D, and you spend time with your family and your friends, and you have a long part of your holidays in the summer. But in Australia, what we would do is we would, get warm and cozy, have a soup. It was a time when you caught up on a lot of your reading or knitting and different things like that. You didn't necessarily go out a lot because we're beachgoers, we're outdoors people, and we don't have a lot of snow in most of the areas. We don't have snow, so we can't go out and go skiing, right? It's just a wet mess. So we had our cycles, and we would live by those cycles, the rhythm of life. And our farmers live by the rhythm of life. We are an internal rhythm. We have to start honouring that once again with each other. It's the same with your friends. Some days your friends are feeling really good and other days they feel like crap. You can't disown the friend because they, a couple of times they're feeling like crap and they're not fun anymore, so we'll just disown them. Right. So remember that law of rhythm. It's natural. It's perfectly natural to have a rhythm, to have those days where you feel beautiful and you feel like crap. Just remind yourself, when you feel like crap, tomorrow you'll probably feel beautiful. And that's the cycle, isn't it? When shit happens, something good happens afterwards. Bye for now, and I hope to see you on the next video.